there comes a moment quiet and almost invisible when you realize that average will not take you where your dreams are trying to go. It's not loud. It doesn't announce itself. It's a whisper in the back of your mind when you're lying awake at night, staring at the ceiling, wondering why you feel restless, even when everything around you seems fine. That whisper is dangerous because it tells you the truth. It tells you that if you keep doing what everyone else is doing, you will end up exactly where everyone else ends up. And deep down, you know that's not why you're here. Because the truth is, success doesn't respond to interest. It doesn't bow to convenience. It doesn't care about your excuses, your comfort, or your plans to start tomorrow. Success demands something far more intense, far more consuming. It demands obsession. And most people will never understand that. They will say, just work hard. They will say, be patient. They will say, everything happens in its time. But what they won't tell you is that the people who truly make it, the ones who break barriers, who change their lives, who build something out of nothing, those people are not just interested. They are consumed. They are driven by something that doesn't let them sleep peacefully, doesn't let them settle, doesn't let them quit when things get uncomfortable. Because when you are obsessed, quitting is not an option. It's not even a thought. But before that fire ignites, there is always a phase, a dark, heavy phase that most people try to avoid. It's the phase where nothing works. The phase where you question yourself. The phase where you feel like you're putting in effort and getting nothing in return. And this is where most people walk away. They walk away because it hurts. They walk away because it's easier to explain failure than to fight through it. They walk away because being average is comfortable. And maybe you've been there. Maybe you felt what it's like to give your energy to something and see no results. Maybe you've doubted yourself, wondering if you're even capable, if you're even good enough, if this dream you're chasing is just an illusion built on hope. That feeling, that pressure, that doubt, it's not there to break you. It's there to test whether you are truly obsessed or just interested. Because interest fades when things get hard. Obsession gets stronger. Interest looks for motivation. Obsession creates discipline. Interest waits for the right moment. Obsession makes every moment count. And history has always rewarded those who cross that line. There was a man who failed over and over again, not once, not twice, but thousands of times while trying to create something the world had never seen before. People laughed at him. They called him crazy. They told him to give up, to accept that maybe it just wasn't possible. But what they didn't understand was that he wasn't trying casually. He was obsessed. Every failure wasn't a defeat to him. It was information. Every setback was a step forward. And eventually that obsession lit up the world. Literally, there was another man who lost elections, failed in business, faced rejection after rejection, and carried the weight of defeat more times than most people could endure. By every logical standard, he should have stopped. He should have accepted that success wasn't meant for him. But obsession doesn't listen to logic, it listens to purpose. And that purpose carried him all the way to one of the most powerful positions in the world. And then there was a dreamer who was told his ideas were worthless, who was fired because he lacked imagination, who faced bankruptcy and failure so many times that most people would have given up and disappeared into the background. But his vision was stronger than his circumstances. His obsession was louder than the doubt surrounding him. And eventually, he built a world that millions of people would escape into, a world born from nothing but relentless belief. These stories are not special because of talent. They are not extraordinary because of luck. They are powerful because of obsession. Because obsession changes the way you see everything. When you're obsessed, you don't see obstacles. You see challenges waiting to be conquered. You don't see time as something to waste. You see it as something slipping away if you're not careful. You don't wait for energy. You create it through action. And slowly, without even realizing it, you become someone different, someone stronger, someone sharper, someone unstoppable. But here's the part most people won't tell you. Obsession comes at a cost. It requires sacrifice. It demands that you let go of distractions, of comfort, of the need for approval. It forces you to walk a path that not everyone will understand. There will be moments when people question you, when they doubt you, when they tell you that you're doing too much, trying too hard, pushing too far. And in those moments, you have to decide, do you want their approval or do you want your dream? Because you cannot have both. And the moment you choose your dream over comfort, over validation, over fear, that's the moment everything begins to change. That's the moment obsession takes control. And once it does, there is no going back. And once it takes control, something shifts deep within you, something almost primal, like a switch has been flipped, and suddenly the world you once saw through ordinary eyes begins to look completely different. The same 24 hours that everyone else complains about start to feel like an opportunity you can't afford to waste. The late nights that once felt exhausting begin to feel necessary. The sacrifices that once seemed too heavy now feel like a small price to pay for something greater than yourself. Because obsession doesn't just change what you do, it changes who you are. You stop negotiating with your excuses. You stop waiting for perfect conditions. You stop asking for permission. Instead, you begin to move with intention, with urgency, with the quiet intensity that most people can't understand and will never be able to replicate. And that's where the separation begins, not in talent, not in luck, but in mindset. Because while others are thinking about it, you are doing it. While others are sleeping on their potential, you are working on yours. While others are hoping for a breakthrough, you are building it piece by piece, day by day, repetition by repetition. And it's not glamorous. It's not always inspiring. There are days when the weight of the journey presses down on you so heavily that even taking the next step feels like a battle. There are nights when doubt creeps back in, whispering that maybe you're pushing too hard, maybe you're chasing something that isn't meant for you, maybe you should slow down, take it easy, be realistic. But obsession doesn't speak the language of realistic. That obsession speaks the language of possibility. It reminds you of why you started when your energy begins to fade. It pulls you forward when your motivation runs out. It anchors you when everything around you feels uncertain. And most importantly, it refuses to let you quit even when quitting feels like the easiest option. Because when you are truly obsessed, you understand something that most people never will. You understand that greatness is built in the unseen moments. It's built in the early mornings when no one is watching. It's built in the late nights when everyone else has gone to sleep. It's built in the repetition, in the discipline, in the willingness to show up again and again and again, even when you don't feel like it. Especially when you don't feel like it. That's the difference. Anyone can show up when they feel good. Anyone can work when they're motivated. Anyone can chase a dream when it's exciting and new, but very few have the ability to continue when the excitement fades, when the results are slow, when the progress is invisible. That's where obsession separates you from the rest. Because obsession doesn't rely on feelings. It relies on commitment. And commitment is what carries you through the storm. Think about it. Every person who has ever achieved something extraordinary has faced a moment where everything seemed to be falling apart. A moment where the odds were stacked against them, where the path forward was unclear, where the pressure was unbearable. And in that moment, they had a choice to stop or to continue, to shrink or to rise, to let circumstances define them or to define themselves through their response. And the ones who chose to continue, the ones who chose to ride, the ones who chose to push forward despite the uncertainty, those are the ones who rewrote their story. Not because they were fearless, but because they were obsessed. Because obsession gives you a kind of courage that fear cannot overpower. It gives you a kind of focus that distractions cannot break. It gives you a kind of resilience that failure cannot destroy. And as you continue down this path, something remarkable begins to happen. You start to build momentum. At first, it's slow, almost invisible, like pushing a heavy object that refuses to move. Every ounce of effort feels like it's going nowhere. Every step forward feels like it's being canceled out by resistance. But you keep pushing. You keep showing up. You keep grinding. And then one day it moves just a little, but enough to remind you that your effort is not in vain. And that small movement becomes a spark. That spark becomes belief. And that belief fuels even more action. And suddenly what once felt impossible begins to feel inevitable. But don't get it twisted. The journey doesn't get easier. You just get stronger. The challenges don't disappear. You just become more capable of facing them. The pressure doesn't go away. You just learn how to carry it. And that's the transformation. That's the evolution. That's what obsession does to you. It takes you from a place of doubt to a place of certainty, from a place of hesitation to a place of action, from a place of dreaming to a place of doing. And as you step into that version of yourself, as you fully embrace that relentless drive, you begin to realize something powerful, something that changes everything. You begin to realize that the life you once imagined, the success you once dreamed about, the person you once hoped to become, it was never out of reach. It was just waiting for you to become obsessed enough to claim it. Because success has always been there, waiting, watching, testing, not asking if you want it, but asking how badly you're willing to fight for it. And now the question is no longer whether you can achieve it. The question is, will you go all in? Will you silence the noise, eliminate the distractions, and commit yourself fully to the path? So you push beyond your limits, beyond your comfort, beyond your excuses, and step into the version of yourself that refuses to settle. Will you become so obsessed with your vision that failure is no longer an option? Because if you do, if you truly do, there is nothing in this world that can stop you. Not doubt, not fear, not failure, not time, nothing. Because when obsession meets purpose, when discipline meets vision, when relentless effort meets unshakable belief, something unstoppable is created. And that something is you. So don't hold back. Don't hesitate. Don't wait for another sign, another moment, another opportunity. This is it, right here, right now. This is where it begins. This is where you decide. This is where you separate yourself from who you were and step into who you are meant to become. Because success doesn't belong to the interested. It belongs to the obsessed. And if you're ready to claim it, then stop thinking, stop doubting, stop waiting, and go all in.